पुनः प्रेमतस्तं शतावृत्तिवन्दे तदीयेषितज्ञेषु भक्तर्षितत्वं पुनः प्रेमतस्तं शतावृत्तिवन्दे वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षं वतिं वा न चायं व्रणेयं वरेष्यदपि वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षं वतिं वा न चायं व्रणेयं वरेष्यदपि इदं ते वपुर्नाथ गोपालबालं सदा मे मनसा विरष्टं किमन्यत् इदं ते वपुर्नाथ गोपालबालं सदा मे मनसा विरष्टं किमन्यत् इदं ते मुखाम्बोजम् अत्यन्तनिर्लय इदं कुण्टलैः स्निग्धरक्तश्च गोप्या इदं ते मुखाम्बोजम् अत्यन्तनिर्लय वृतं कुण्टलैः स्निग्धरक्तश्च गोप्या मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्तधरं मे मनसा विरष्टं मलं लक्ष्यलभ्ये मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्तधरं मे मनसा विरष्टं मलं लक्ष्यलभ्ये नमो देवदामोदर अनंत विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजालतिमत् नमो देवदामोदर अनंत विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजालतिमत् कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यातिदीनं बतानु प्रणेशाममध्यमादियक्षिदृश्य कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यातिदीनं बतानु प्रणेशाममध्यम् आदि अक्षिदृश्य कुबेरात्मजौ बद्धमुक्तैव यद्वत् त्वया मोचितौ भक्तिपाजौ कृतौ च कुबेरात्मजौ बद्धमुक्तैव यद्वत् त्वया मोचितौ भक्तिभाजौ कृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्ति स्वकाम्य प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मे स्थितामुदरेह तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकाम्य प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मे स्थितामुदरेह नमस्ते स्तुदाम्ने स्फुरत्तिदाम्ने त्वदीयोधरायाथ विश्वसदाम्ने नमस्ते स्तुदाम्ने स्फुरत्तिदाम्ने त्वदीयोधरायाथ विश्वसदाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वादीया प्रियायै नमो नन्दलीलाय देवयतुभ्यम् नमो राधिकायै त्वादीया प्रियायै नमो नन्दलीलाय देवयतुभ्यम् हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण थैंक यू प्रभु जी धन्यवाद over to you.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. Auspicious beginning in the Kartika month. I welcome all the devotees to the today's session. Today we will be studying lesson 123. But before that, let us have the invocation prayers. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति सुपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवाञ्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं त्वजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। पंचतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। जयतां सुरतो पुंगर्मम मन्दमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्व पदाम्बुजो राधा मदन मोहनौ। दिव्याद वृंदारण्य कल्पद्रुमः श्रीमद् रत्नांगर सिंहासन स्थितो श्रीमद् राधा श्रील गोविंद देवो पृष्ठाली सेव्यमानो स्मरामि। श्रीमान रासरसारम्भे बंसीवटतटस्थित करसन वेणुस्वनैर्गोपीर् गोपीनाथ श्रीयस्तु नः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। Now I'll offer my obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. नमो महापदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरवतिसे नमः। O most beneficent incarnation, your Krishna himself appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden color of Srimati Radharani and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Krishna Varnam Tisha Krishnam Sangopang Gostra Parsadam Yagge Sankirtanam Praye Yajanti Sumedasa. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Nana Shastra Vicharana Ke Nipuno Sardharma Samstapako Lokanam Hitakarino Triguvane Manya Saranya Karo Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Anandena Mattaliko Vande Rupa Sanatana Bhujugo Sri Jiva Gopalako. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the divine couple, Sri Radha and Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiret. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे। With this, I welcome all the devotees once again to the today's session. Before we start the class, let us have the recap of lesson 122.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, in lesson 122, we saw the teachings of the sages who had come to Kurukshetra and the ritual, the Vedic ritual ceremonies that were performed by Vasudevji. So this whole chapter consists of, chapter 84 consists of 71 verses divided in three themes. In the first theme, first 27 verses, we see the topic divine praise and wisdom. And in the second part, we see the Vedic sacrifices that were performed by Vasudevji to worship Lord Vishnu to counteract fruitive karmas. And in the last part, we see the bonds of affection. So, everybody was gathered at Kurukshetra during the solar eclipse. All the Kurus, Pandavas, Yadus, the Vrajvasis, the queens like Kunti Maharani, Gandhari, Draupadi, Subhadra, all the gopis of Vrindavan. Uh, Everybody was meeting each other with so much of love and affection. Lord Krishna and Balram were over there. So they were having such a good conversation. The queens of Lord Krishna described that how they got married to Lord Krishna. Uh, on hearing that, how the Kurus were, the female members of the Kuru dynasty, how they were awestruck to see their devotion and their love and affection and their attachment to Lord Krishna. So they were having a very good reunion. And at that time, the sages came over there. The ascetics and the pure sages, so many sages came over there. These were the very exalted, like Narad Muni himself, Vishwamitra, Lord Parshurama came with his disciples, so many of them, Kashyapa Muni, Atri Muni, Agastya Muni, even the four Kumaras. So all of them, they came over there to see Lord Krishna and Lord Balrama, all these sages. And when the sages came, Yudhishthir Maharaj, Pandavas, even Lord Krishna and Balram, they all just stood up from their seats and they bowed them, offered their obeisances. They welcomed them nicely by washing their feet and offered them garlands and fruits and uh, offered them prasadam, and they worshipped them according to the Vedic rituals. Lord Krishna himself welcomed them and he spoke, addressed to them that, today we are all successful because we are face to face to such exalted and great sages, and not who the you all are greater than even demigods, and very people who are ignorant and who are neophytes, they simply offer obeisances to deities in the temple and demigods. They worship demigods to fulfill their petty desires, but they are not aware that more than higher than the demigod worship and visiting pilgrimages only for the sake of visiting it. More important is to come in association with the saints who guide a person, who guides a soul to a higher journey, to the spiritual journey. So it is very important to inquire when you visit a holy place. It is very important to inquire from a pure devotee of the Lord or a pure saint and take his blessings, because a, a saint, a pure devotee of a Lord, is like a walking pilgrimage, and he purifies by his touch and his connect everything that comes across him. So a Mahatma is a representative of the Lord. Hence, Lord Krishna, in the presence of everyone, glorified all the sages and welcomes them so beautifully. Uh, the sages themselves, when they hear so much from the Lord, they were overwhelmed and they started praising the Lord, glorifying the Lord, that Lord, you are uh, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are the transcend. You are the you have all the opulences. Still, you are enjoying your pastimes as a human being, and nobody can understand that. People who are living with you, eating with you, who are in touch with you, they also cannot understand that you are the original cause of the causes. You are the super soul in everyone. You are the cause of all this creation. And they said that uh, till a person understands that, this is the whole essence of the whole Vedic philosophy, to understand you. And why a person cannot understand this great knowledge is because we want to enjoy the material body through our senses. And when a person enjoys the material body through the senses, the spirit soul gets covered by material contamination. And the material consciousness cannot make a person understand you, understand you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You yourself are Krishna. So you are actually covered, and a materially contaminated person cannot understand you. Hence, a person should meditate upon your absolute form, upon your transcendental form, to get rid of the material contamination. So the sages glorify the God, saying that uh, Ganges purifies a person. Why? Because Ganges is coming from your lotus feet. It is the perspiration of your lotus feet. Hence, it has the power to purify the person. So this is how what the interaction that happened between the sages and Lord Krishna. Uh, so here we see important points, that is accentuating the essence of divinity, that is clarity, that what is the essence of divinity is mentioned, how in the presence of divinity and the pure devotees transformation happens, how what is the difference between the material reality and the spiritual reality, and that devotional service is the only indispensable way of attaining or understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is Krishna. So here the important points that are covered is divine nature. My question is, what is the unique ability of Lord Krishna? How is Lord Krishna so unique? What is his ability?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
The
Krishna.
unique ability of Lord Krishna, that he is both immanent and transcendent. He
Yes, correct.
he
You can. Yes, Mataji, go on.
His action was threefold. He tried to teach the spiritual truth to the humanity, and he also tried to show his divine mercy, and he played his profound pedagogical role. That is why he is both immanent and transcendent.
Perfect. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Lord Krishna is immanent and transcendental. Immanent is, he is, this is duality. We can see this duality. He is, first they say that he is present in everything. Kan kan mein. He is Vyapt, he is Ghat Ghat Vasi, he is Vasudeva. At the same time, he is beyond this material world. He is beyond the material aspect. He is transcendental. So these two things are so unique that makes him Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is like in the form of Krishna, enjoying the human like pastimes and giving pleasure to his devotees. And at the same time, he is a super opulent Lord, the Almighty Lord who has all the opulences. So, this is his divine nature. Then, what are the benefits of associating? What are the benefits of Sadhu Sangha mentioned in point 2? Important point.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Mataji.
Hare Krishna,
Go
Mataji.
ahead.
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Go ahead, Mataji. Go ahead. I'll take our next one.
Yes, Harsha Mataji.
We get advancement in the spiritual journey.
Correct. Anything else you want to add, Mataji?
And through perfection, main perfection and pure devotion, we get to learn from this sadhu sangha, and more advancement, the knowledge we get in seeking this.
Okay.
We get inspiration also from them.
Yes, we get inspiration and hope from them. Yes, thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, may I add some
Yes,
more?
yes, Prabhuji. Most
Yeah,
welcome.
just like in the Bhagavatam, there is that lava matra sadhu sangha, right? So even a little bit association gives a huge benefit, and it is a prime essential aspect of our Gaudiya Vaishnava, Brahma Madhav Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy and teaching. That through association and service of sadhu, we elevate in our devotional practice.
Thank you so much. Radha Vinod Prabhuji, you have more to add to this?
So again, my Guru Maharaj always say, low matra sadhu sang. It says, fraction of a second, even association with the sadhu sang can purify one. Though basically those are ready to accept that. That is what is also
Yeah.
mentioned. So again, any sadhu, he is a walking tirtha, right? So tirthe kurvanti tirthani, right? So wherever he goes, he purifies also tirtha. It's not only he himself is a tirtha, but he purifies, he walks to you also. So that sadhu sang only can, we talk about bhakti lata beej, those lata, it's not a tree, right? That's a weak tree and it needs support. And what is the support in bhakti? That is the sadhu sang. If the
Perfect.
support is not there, the bhakti lata beej, the lata doesn't stand. And our bhakti cannot survive without sadhu sang, because we are nothing. We can forget, and the devotion will not survive, will not prosper. Only in association of devotee it goes. So in our Gaudiya Sampradaya, this is the one of the highest point, emphasize. Right?
Perfect. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Such beautiful points. So material life is very challenging. What can keep us going is the sadhu sangha. So that's the backbone. That's what Radha Vinod Prabhuji and Sanjeev Prabhuji and Harsha Mataji emphasize. Okay, going ahead, these two are the, I guess, same points. You have the last point, the importance of scriptures. What is the role of scriptures in spiritual growth?
Hare Krishna Mataji. By the scripture, we may know the divine nature, and we can come close to divine, and it increases our spirituality, and we actually and really we come more closer to
Correct.
Krishna, Lord.
The knowledge of Krishna is there in the Vedas. So that comes from the Vedas. So it plays a very important role. And
Correct.
further, yes, anyone?
And also, Hare Krishna Mataji, Vinod. Yeah, the scriptures also makes our buddhi intelligence very stronger, Mataji, so
Correct.
that we know what we are doing, what we should do, and what we should not do. Yeah,
Correct.
it gives a direction for our life.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that also, it purifies our intelligent. Scripture purifies our intelligence. That
Oh,
is the main role of
yeah.
that.
Yes,
All that, once intelligence is purified, your mind can come with any desire. The intelligence is firm and strong. Mind can do nothing. Unless until intelligence
Yeah.
accept it, we can't do any action. So it's a very big role, and this is what the scripture gradually purifies and changes our consciousness, looking in the with the eyes of scripture. That is what we look, right,
Correct.
to
Yeah.
any
Thank
activity.
you. Wonderful.
Yeah, Alex.
So intelligence
Yeah.
gets purified by reading scriptures, and one develops spiritual wisdom. And one spiritual wisdom.
Prabhuji wants to say something.
Oh, okay. So, yes, Prabhuji. Sorry, I did not. Charu Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
We are not able to hear Prabhuji.
आवाज सुन रहे थे, आवाज नहीं आ रहा.
Prabhuji, your voice is not, we can't hear you.
Prabhuji not able to hear.
I think he's going to add little later.
Yeah, I think there's some
Yeah, that is what he said. There's some problem. He's going to add little
yeah,
later.
some problem at his
Yeah. We can move on.
speaker.
That is what he's signaling us.
Okay, I'll go ahead till the time he gets. Okay, so in this part, we see that personal devotion is enhanced by sadhu sangha and practicing humility, and what should be the intention of visiting holy places. One second. So yeah, important points are how should one what benefits one gets by associating with saintly people, that was covered, and how can one enhance one's spiritual life by associating with saintly people, by what activities one can grow in.
By attending spiritual gatherings and discourses and cultivating
Humility.
humility.
Yes, by cultivating humility and by sadhu sang, one can advance spiritually. Second important question is Maya is super powerful, and what can one do to strike a balance between spiritual life even while facing the challenges of Maya?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I wanted to just mention about the scripture we were talking about.
Yeah.
Scriptures tells you what is to be done, what is not to be done. Okay, and sadhana bhakti is very important. That's why we need to follow Vedic injunctions. But there's a nuance about that. Scriptures are deliberately sometimes ambiguous, and it is context driven. So to be properly understand scriptures, we need a bona fide guru, sadhu, to help us properly understand where it is applicable and so on like that. So that point needs to be kept in mind. Haribo.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Could hear me, right?
Yes, Prabhuji, we could hear you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So scriptures basically should be understood in the right context, and that can be understood under the guidance of a bona fide guru. Yeah. So the second question here is being Maya being powerful, how can one strike a balance in? Yes, Mataji, Nilima Mataji.
Yeah, we can include regular prayers and recite mantra, 16 round chanting, and focus on our spiritual progress and seek the mercy of devotees and Lord in turn.
Correct.
And for that, our Shastra, it enlightens us. And as Prabhuji just said, Sadhu Sang is must, because without Guru, uh, we cannot discriminate between what is yoga and ayogya, isn't it? So, so as to progress on the spiritual path, we need to have the directions as per, we should follow the directions as per our Guru Maharaj, what is been said.
Thank you, Mataji. So mindfully following Guru Sadhu Shastra and taking all those practices into practice, one can face the challenges of Maya and still stay focused in the spiritual. Thank you, Mataji. Then the last question of this particular topic is how can scriptures, in what ways one can, because scriptures is theoretical knowledge. Prabhuji explained it very nicely. It can be ambiguous and we need the guidance of a bona fide guru to understand it. So in today's life, how can we do that? How can we practice that? How can our understanding for Krishna consciousness deepen by scripture studies?
We can engage ourselves in discussions on Shastra, because both in Shastra and Shastra, these are both these chakshut, so they are very important for the fabric of society. And out of these two, Shastra is very important. And seeking the interpretations from knowledgeable sources, such as bona fide sampradaya, and applying these principles outlined what are there in the text, and they do transform our theoretical knowledge in our practical lives, and it connects us with Lord Krishna and facilitates our spiritual growth.
Perfect. Thank you, Mataji. So
Yeah.
the step by step, yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so Brother explained very nicely. So basically, boiling down to as again what needs to be done, what did not be done. So how it binds, right? Again, getting entangled into material world. What needs, how to detach the senses from the sense object. All those things are there, right?
Yeah.
So the scripture tells us guideline. It gives a proper guideline, with as Charupuri was saying, with a bona fide. So as ISKCON says very clearly, how to detach from the material world. You have to, at the end of the day, by reading only will not help. So you have to put it into practice, and
Correct.
how gradually, when you attach with the Krishna, slowly, what you call, you start with a Sarda, then sadhu sang, bhajan kriya, anarth nivritti, right? That the process keeps on going. So
Yes.
those anarth nivrittis, right, will go. So from where it's coming? That is coming from the scripture, right?
Yeah.
How to connect with the Lord, how to detach from the material world, and the impact by getting entangled. All that knowledge is given, repeating through birth, death, old age, disease. That can also drive us. So many things are there on that.
Perfect. So basically, understanding the scriptures in the right context through sadhu sang, then engaging in discussions, understanding them further, imbibing there in our daily life, that will lead to transformation. Through this transformation, this theoretical knowledge becomes a live experience, and with this life experience, we connect more strongly to Krishna, and that helps us grow in our spiritual life. Thank you. So we come to the second part of our chapter, wherein we see that Lord Krishna welcomes everyone nicely, and the sages, they also offer their prayers to Lord Krishna, and then they want to seek permission from Dhritarashtra Maharaj and Yudhishthir Maharaj, so that they can go back to their homes, their ashrams. So at that time, Vasudev ji, who is the most pious, he is the father of Lord Krishna, he approaches the sages with so much of humility and offers respects to them. And he addresses them that, you are more respected than even demigods, and therefore please accept my obeisances, and also please explain me kindly that how can one counteract the reactions of the world, the fruitative activities. This was the question he asked them. Although he didn't have to, he is the father of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he exemplifies so much of humility. So the sages also kindly reply to his request, and they tell him in the presence of Krishna, Balram, and everybody. The sages tell him that the reactions of fruitative activities can only be counteracted when one does prescribed sacrifices for the worship of Lord Vishnu with full faith and devotion. So this is there. This part is there in the second part of this particular second theme of this chapter. So important points over here are sacrifice and worship. How can one's the consequences of one's karma be mitigated? How can one mitigate the reactions of one's karma?
By regular practice of devotion, bhakti towards Lord Krishna, the Supreme Being. And this material entanglement converts transcendence into spiritual liberation.
Yeah. Only worship to Lord Vishnu, pure devotional worship to Lord Vishnu can mitigate the consequence of one's karma. Then what
Yeah.
is the role? Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so again, it talks about, Vedic sacrifice, bhakti is there, but a Vedic sacrifice. So regulating the work that you do, right? So the Shastras give that, all that leave the result to the Lord, right? That is what is mentioned here.
Yes.
Then just jumping into the bhakti is there. The larger picture is the bhakti, but that part, because it's coming as a purpose of Vedic sacrifices,
Yeah.
right? That. Yes,
But-
ma'am.
So one has to, even Vasudev ji practiced all the Vedic sacrifices with to offered it to Lord Vishnu to get rid of the consequences. So doing this according to the Vedic mentioned according to the Vedic scriptures is important. Then again, the role of the sages. It was mentioned earlier also that under the guidance of a proper guru or a pure devotee, he guides a person, he establishes gives them a spiritual discipline by practicing which one can uh, improve on the progress on the spiritual path. And the most important point over here is what should not be done, how should bhakti not be practiced?
Not to be practiced in isolation.
Yeah, not to be practiced in isolation, not alone, but in sadhu sangha. Then detachment and renunciation. How important is detachment and renunciation? Very important point.
It promotes a harmonious balance in household life, encouraging everyone to fulfill their responsibility with the nurturing of the spirit of detachment and get detachment to material and get attached to the Lord.
So by charity, one gets
Sacrifice,
Right.
acts of sacrifice and charity.
Yeah. Correct.
Yes, Prasad.
Same I thought of just adding, Mataji. See, once you start sacrificing, okay, that lobha guna, whatever is there, okay, and the charity, once you start doing charity, that lobha guna will take it off, Mataji. And that will really helps us to have the detachment, okay, and renunciation with this material world. Otherwise, it is simply not possible.
Yes. Till the
Initially,
time.
it will be difficult, but later, once you start doing the charity and all that, okay, we'll get to that, and then automatically renunciation and detachment will grow, Mataji, in our life.
So charity symbolizes that one should get rid of their desires and whatever the possessions is. Gradually, one has to get rid of the material bondage. So there is this beautiful, you can say, anecdote. You can say that till the time you have material desire in your mind or in your heart, you cannot you cannot have spiritual enlightenment, even if it is their one desire. So there is if there is a crow with a piece of meat in his mouth, so he is being followed by all the crows. So the following of the holding of the piece of meat is material desire, and following of all the crows is the maya. So the moment you have material desire, the whole maya follows you. The moment the crow drops that meat, gives up that desire, the Maya also goes away. So even a tinge of material desire can, be a big hindrance on your spiritual path. So detachment is a very important. You have to finally renounce everything. So detachment and renunciation play a very important part. Fourth one, divine grace and personal relationship. When does divine grace come?
Sincere worship, Mataji.
Sincere worship and
Sincere
devotion.
devotion. Yeah, sincere devotion and worship. Only
So,
makes.
what happens when the one offers sincere devotion to Lord?
What happens?
A connection gets established.
Yes,
You
yeah,
are एक संबंध बनता है, and then gradually by continuing that the संबंध becomes deeper and deeper, and that actually bestows divine grace.
Yeah, but mother here also, it highlights that Vasudeva and Devaki, who were there in previous life, Dhara and what is that? Dhara and Dhara and what that? They were there, right? They did a lot of things. So again, it says that the integrated describes the ritual attire sacrifice. Here, I think the word was mentioned, right? It's previous devotion. Right, the acknowledgement of Vasudeva's past devotion to Hari illuminates the central divide. So their devotion was there in previous birth. That's why they could become parents to the Lord and the personal connection there, right?
Yeah.
On the
Dhara and Rushni, no, Prabhuji?
Druchni and Dara, yeah. So those two, right? So that was I can see that sentence, underlying with that.
Yeah, correct, Prabhuji. So continuous devotion, no?
Yeah.
Continuous devotion has to be there.
Yes.
Then community and collective worship, as it was highlighted, that it is bhakti is both personal and a shared journey. So it has to be practiced in sadhu sangha. In sankirtana should happen. It should not be practiced in isolation. And what does ritual symbolize? Sixth point. What does it remind us?
They
When
do
we come,
remind us about the beauty and joy which is embedded in serving the Lord, and it inspires our personal growth and spiritual transformation through the heartfelt worship.
yeah. So when everyone comes together to do a particular ritual to serve one objective, one divine, like one divinity, then the personal growth happens. So ritual also plays. So we have so many rituals we practice together to imbibe that conviction that we have to serve the divine. And then finally, celebration of divine presence, very important point. Krishna's presence in this, Lord Krishna and Balram both were present when these sacrificial rites were happening. So what happened? What difference did it make?
Shows that God is not distant, He is always actively involved in our lives. And He always supports its devotee.
Yeah.
And this is one dimension of bhakti.
Yeah. So when there is pure devotional service happening together, like together, then Lord cannot be distant. He is very much accessible. So wherever there is bhakti, Lord is there. He is present. So in short, in this portion, we see the important points of how one should connect to Lord, how community Sankirtana is important to strengthen this connection to the divine, and how a divine and the devotee, the Bhakt and the Lord, they share a deep bond which only gets fortified by acts of love, worship, and service. So these are the three important questions. What happened? How did Vasudevji benefit by doing uh, this sacrifices, these yagyas, the rituals?
Hare Krishna Mataji, by offerings to the deities, chanting mantra and doing communal gatherings.
Yeah, he became purified. He did it along with his family and to get rid of the consequences of the fruitive activities.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what are the what do the Rishi Munis they teach? What are the teachings of our great acharyas of Gaudiya Vaishya Sampradaya that we can practice in today's time?
Srimad Bhagavatam and writings of great saints such as Rup Goswamis, Sanatan Goswamis, etc.
Yeah, we should study Srimad Bhagavatam and our acharyas. We should do kirtans and have be part of the study groups and improve our spiritual life. Then, how to strike a balance between material life and spiritual life?
By embracing service towards in our daily activities in Krishna Bhakti, then we can join the community according to communal also together group in a group, how we are doing now. And so in this way we can convert our spiritual journey, yeah, into the worldly duties.
Correct.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes,
And we
Mark.
can
Okay, we have to see even the material activity as well as a spiritual. How we have to
Yeah.
see Krishna Mataji. Okay, in every aspect. Okay, you're a husband, you're a wife. Okay, and you're a father, mother. Okay, you're a son or daughter. Okay, we should see that the responsibility is given by Krishna.
Yes.
And to see that, how can you serve devotee? You can treat everyone as a devotee. And so,
So by serving everyone around you, family as well as devotees,
devotee.
and
Yeah.
giving that service as an offering to Lord Krishna, even we have to serve our family also honestly, and at the same time practicing our spiritual life, like our chanting, our shravanam, kirtanam. So that's how you have to kind of strike a balance between the two. Okay, so we come to the last part of our lesson. So now everyone wants to depart. Everyone has met each other. They feel a lot of, already they are feeling separation and they are embracing each other. All the Pandavas and the Kurus, they embrace the members of the Yadu dynasty and they feel very nice about it. At that time, Vasudevji, who is now so satisfied after the sacrifice and he is feeling so much of happiness, he approaches Nanda Baba and tells him that, you have been so loving and affectionate towards me, but I have never been grateful to you and I have never been able to serve you or reciprocate to your love in adequately. Earlier, I was in prison, so I could not repay you in a proper way. And later on, when I had all the opulences, I got blinded by the material life. So I have been unable to serve you in any way. So he was like, he exchanges this beautiful conversation with Nanda Baba, and he says that I hope you will able to, forgive me and still and still be by my side and still take care of me, and I hope I'll be able to serve you in some way. So this beautifully Vasudevji addresses to Nand Baba, and Nand Baba is filled with tears and he begins to cry. So this is the kind of love they are exchanging. So here, all the members of the Yadu dynasty, they also, they serve the Vrajvasis, they worship the Vrajvasis. And because Nand Baba also is satisfied by all their services, their love, he stays more time with them and have everybody's together more. The Vrajvasis, they stay there for a longer time. That's how the members of the Vrishni family, they serve the Vrajvasis, and later on, everybody then goes back after having a very good time together to their own homes. And once the Vrajvasis depart, the Yadus also, they realize that they have to go back to Dwarka. And now they are fully, once coming back to Dwarka, they also describe everything to their friends and well-wishers over there, what experiences they had during their travels in the pilgrimage. So this basically deepens their bonds. How should one's pilgrimage should be? It should not just be a physical yatra. It should be a emotional. It should be a spiritual yatra, which touches your heart, which touches your soul, and then later on you should share these experiences with people around you so that they also get benefited. So here the important points are affection and relation. How should how valuably one should cherish, one should, how much one should value the relationships, how important it is for spiritual growth. Okay, I'll just quickly wrap it up. Because we are all interconnected, unless and until we value our relationships, we will not be able to spiritually grow. So there has to be love and affection for each other. That also plays a very important role. Okay, because Lord is there in the person with whom you are connected to. So seeing him in that person, one further grows. Then the second point is, what is the difference between material wealth and spiritual wealth? Very important. Radha Vinod Prabhuji, would you like to?
Yeah. So materials, to realize that material success or material whatever you do is a temporary, it doesn't lead anywhere. So ultimately, only spiritual can give the joy or purpose in a life. So once we understand that, that's what he's talking about. Opulences doesn't lead us. Okay, so to anywhere. And the realization of necessity of balance between material pursuit and spiritual awareness aligns bhakti tradition, and that can come with the humility, guiding us to prioritize spiritual values. How to guide the spiritual values? Because only spiritual values can take us out of this entanglement of birth, death, old age, disease, from this material miseries. So knowing that, right? So again, the process is given humility.
Yeah.
So balance, we have given just now. Prabhu was talking about our relations are there. It's a God given Krishna, and yes, just now we mentioned see Krishna in everyone, right? That is how you bring at par with the other thing. So we are responsible, but we are not the only one. They are Lord's children, right? So everything is happening with His mercy also.
Yeah.
Yes, mother. That's what I can see. Balance between
Balance
material.
between the two.
Yeah,
So
material
here
and
the
spiritual.
important point that you also mentioned.
Spiritual,
and
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you lose this balance and get into this process of accumulating excessive opulence, then that will blind you towards your own soul. You will, then the material contamination will build up very soon. So we have to be very careful and aware of it. Third point, gratitude.
I
Yes,
just
Mohan.
want to add one point.
Yeah.
Generally, like balancing material world and spiritual means most of the people think that, okay, like morning to hours is spiritual life, and after that, like material life.
Yeah.
Balancing the
Correct.
24 hours between spiritual and material. No, that is not the case. Yeah. So as we discussed, we have to see spirituality or Krishna, okay, in everything.
Yeah. So
Srila Prabhupada talks about do-tell. Srila Prabhupada always talks do-tell your
do-tell.
activities.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is very important. Thank you. Thank you.
So we prioritize our Krishna consciousness first thing early in the morning so that we are able to retain it throughout the day and see him and his mercy throughout the day. Correct. Thank you, Prabhuji, Prasad Prabhuji. Gratitude and reciprocity. Lord Vasudev ji, the way he interacts with Nanda Baba, what does it show? What does it indicate?
It is a selfless devotion service, Mataji.
Yeah. Selfless, heartfelt service, like when you, yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. So one should be always grateful to others. Unless and until you are grateful to people around you, one cannot grow. One cannot get selfless devotion. Okay, so let us wrap up with two important: separation and longing. Very important point over here. What role play separation and longing plays? This has been discussed since since the beginning. How is separation and longing important?
Hare Krishna Mataji, separation intensifies love.
It intensifies the love and also our commitment. Yeah.
Yes.
The more we are
More,
separated,
more understanding and
Yeah.
appreciation of divine love.
the more
The more
separation
we
of the,
separate is more connection we get, Mataji.
yeah.
If you really love. Connection becomes more and more stronger actually.
Yes, it strengthens, it fortifies. And celebration of divine sacrifice. Again, bhakti is all about communal worship and celebration. This is how our devotion also grows. And the bhakti, the devotion should be continuous. It should not stop anywhere. The spiritual life has to be continuous. So we end up this chapter with very important points, like how one should be grateful to each other and have heartfelt connections instead of superficial connections. Again, humility is the most important point, and steadfast commitment in love and service. This is basically the basis of our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. I wrap up. Prabhuji, over to you. I hope I have not taken so much of time. Sharad Prabhuji, over to you.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much for nicely summing up the last class, that is lesson 122. We were talking about Sadhu Sangha. Please remember that for any benefit, like say, if you see Mother Ganges river, or you just imagine you are seeing, then you are totally purified. Like all these things are there in the Shastras. But for that, the prerequisite is we have to have faith in that. If we do not have firm faith, we will not get the results. This Sadhu Sangha also, we have to have faith. With this, let us start today's class. That is the lesson 123. I'll share this slide. Okay. We have been learning about the communication of the sages with the Supreme Lord. We learned about the various commentaries last lesson. Now, today, we'll see what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he talks about these. And please remember that these are very, very important from Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. The first one is reciprocal praise and recognition. I'll talk about this in detail. The dialogue between Krishna and the sages highlights the transformative power of mutual appreciation in the divine relationship, the mutual relationship. And Krishna honors the sages as extraordinary individuals. Though Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and the sages, they are worshipping him, still Krishna is honoring them. And the reasons we saw last time, what are the powers of the sages, what can they do? They can even purify the tirthas, the holy places, what to talk of anything else. And Krishna, he feels he gets purified by the sages, emphasizing the necessity of recognizing divine qualities in others. We also should always try to find good qualities in others rather than seeing the shortcomings. This is what we learn from Lord Krishna. And this acknowledgement fosters a deeper sense of connection and compassion, illuminating the interconnectedness of all beings within the bhakti framework. Now, please remember that all of us, all the jivas and those non-living beings, anything in this material creation created by the Supreme Lord, they are all connected. That's why we should be as much kind to anybody else, including the non-living beings, that will help us. Then Prabhupada said what he said about recognition. He said that every living entity, especially the persons who are in the human race, they must feel grateful for the benedictions offered by the grace of the Supreme Lord. We are getting everything from Him, and everything we are getting free of cost. You know what all. And therefore, anyone with a simple heart of gratefulness must be Krishna conscious and offer devotional service to the Supreme Lord. That's what Prabhupada is saying. And those who are actually thieves and rogues, they do not recognize or acknowledge the benedictions offered to them by the Supreme Lord, and they cannot render him devotional service. And such ungrateful persons are those who do not understand how much benefit they are deriving by the supreme arrangement of the Supreme Lord. And they enjoy the sunshine, the moonshine, the water, air, everything free of charge. Yet they do not feel grateful, but simply go on enjoying the benefits. Therefore, they must be called the thieves and the rogues. Now, the second point regarding the celibacy and devotion, the passage vividly illustrates the Brajagopis' commitment to celibacy during their sacred pilgrimage to Kurukshetra. They did not behave the way they were behaving in Braja with Krishna when Krishna was there till for 11 years in Braja. The way they were behaving with him, they did not behave like that with Krishna in Kurukshetra, reinforcing the significance of spiritual discipline and devotion. This signifies their discipline. They knew the circumstances, the place, and they behaved as per that. And this steadfastness unveils the emotional profundity of their relationship with Krishna, demonstrating that authentic devotion transcends mere physical engagement. Instead, it thrives on loving remembrance and a profound emotional attachment to the divine. They were remembering Lord Krishna, remembering what they were doing, how they were spending time in Braja, and it was emotional attachment. As you know, the gopis are known to be the women of Vrindavana who had soaked their souls in the ocean of Krishna Bhakti. How? Physically, verbally, and through meditation. And the whole world, that is the reason the whole world bows to their feet, for they achieved the unselfish love and company of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. And to show the height of devotion, they incarnated in the form of women who were not learned, simple village girls, bounded by the norms of society, filled with responsibilities of family, and barred from freedom when they appeared in Braja during Krishna's pastimes. And as a human body which so bounded and yet sets its soul free from boundaries of world, it entrusts its soul to the divine, and that person is the true warrior and wins the battle at the end. This is what is very much important. And as we have already spoken about the Rasa Leela, various people they speak vulgarly about this. But please remember that the relationship between the gopis and Krishna, it is much beyond kama. there is no karma associated with Lord Krishna. And what about celibacy and chastity? Celibacy is for the men and the chastity is for the women. I'll tell you a small story. Once Vyasadeva, he went to Brahmaloka to get his doubts cleared on certain spiritual matters from Lord Brahma. And while staying there, a lot of topics were discussed. And then Lord Brahma narrated tale of a Brahmin woman who possessed divine powers on account of her chastity. What a woman can achieve by chastity, that is given in this story told by Lord Brahma. Brahma said that during the ancient times there was a Brahmin whose name was Kaushik, and he was infested with leprosy. But still, his wife was very, very chaste and faithful towards him. And his wife used to be on his side all the times and looked after him. But still, this person, he used to scold her and abuse his wife at the first given opportunity. But still, then the wife, she was not frustrated. One day, something happened which made Kaushik extremely angry, and in a fit of rage, he made an impossible demand from his wife. Impossible means so that she will not be able to comply, so that he will curse her. He had this intention, and shouting angrily at his wife, Kaushik said that age has started showing effect on you. You don't look beautiful. You are neglecting me. You are not so beautiful as before. That's why, to satisfy my the urge, material urge, please take me to a particular prostitute. Now, this prostitute's house was far off, and it had become dark in the evening, but still the wife decided to take him to the prostitute. And because of darkness, Kaushik's wife could not see, says Mandavya, who was, in spite of his innocence, he was doing um, tapasya there, he was doing meditation, and she stumbled upon him, and thereafter, you know the story how Mandavya was punished by the king because some thieves were found near him. Now, then the Mandavya Rishi, he got disturbed and came out from his meditation, and he cursed that this man who was being carried, that is Kaushik, he will die before the sunrise the next day. Now then what happened? His wife who was chaste, she also says, she told that there will not be sunrise tomorrow morning, and then my husband will not die. And it so happened that there was no sunrise the next day, and the sun stopped rising from next day onwards, and there was a catastrophe in the whole universe, and everything went haywire. And even the demigods, they got worried, and they came to Lord Brahma with a request why the sun had stopped rising. Then Lord Brahma told him that due to the curse of a chaste woman, and this has happened. And he said that nobody except Anusaya, the wife of Atri Muni, was capable of bringing back order in the world. Then he advised to seek the help of Sati Anusaya, who was famous for her exceptional chastity. And if you remember in Ramayana, Anusaya had advised, rather given a discourse to Mother Sita also on chastity and other things. So this is what happened. And as you know, it is said that Ahalya, Draupadi, Kunti, Tara, Mandodari, Tatha, Panchakanya Smare Nityam, Mahapatakanasana. These 5 ladies, they are most chaste ladies, and if you take their name in the morning, then all your sins will get destroyed. That is Ahalya, Draupadi, Kunti, Tara, Mandodari. Okay, let us go to the next slide. The nature of worship. Now, central to Krishna's teaching is the discourse on the worship of deities and the essential distinction between true and false worship. Now, we know about worshipping, but worshipping of the demigods, that is, that should not be done by the devotees. That also we know. All those things they are given in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna critiques those who fixate solely on the material facets of devotion. Now, many people, what they do, even if they worship Krishna, they want material benefits. And as we are discussing today, these material benefits, we should remember that they are not permanent, they are totally temporary. Urging that genuine worship must encompass reverence for the divine alongside respect for the fellow devotees. It is not that we should worship the Supreme Lord only and neglect the devotees. We should worship the devotees also. We should show respect to them. And we should not feel that they are different from the Supreme Lord. And this insight underscores the vital role of community and the deep-seated relationship among bhakti practitioners. What basically it means, we should worship as a community, taking our friends, relatives, family, everybody with it, and understanding the divine. The sages are filled with awe at Krishna's ability to be both the supreme personality of Godhead and an ordinary being. This we discussed in the last class in detail. And this duality embodies the essence of Krishna's divine pastimes, where his divine nature remains concealed, inviting devotees to engage with him in a relatable manner. And this reflects the profound love that underpins the relationship between God and his devotees, a cornerstone of bhakti tradition. This is the very basic, and we know it. But a little more about this worship, deity worship. As you know, we have to worship the Supreme Lord with love and devotion, and that is what is known as bhakti. And avoid mechanical rituals. Always remember, Krishna is personally present everywhere. In the deity form, he is personally present. We have to have full faith on that thing. And what is deity worship? Worship of his Archa Vigraha as per the authorized Vedic scriptures. It is a central aspect of the bhakti. And this Archavigraha is the Lord's mercy form, allowing us to serve Him directly. That's what Srila Prabhupada says. And what Srila Prabhupada says on deity worship, he says, without deity worship, we will become dry philosophers. That's why it is necessary and it is compulsory. Even Jiva Goswami also in the Sandarbha says that the householder always should worship the Supreme Lord, and the deity is Krishna himself. He should not see him as a stone or a metal or anything else. And a pujari, one who is worshipping, is Krishna's personal servant, and he should be exemplary in all respects. And why worship the deity? Because deity worship purifies the heart, helps develop a personal relationship with Krishna, and that's why we should worship the Supreme Lord in the deity form. It enhances devotion and discipline, and if one has no love for the deity, one has no love for Krishna. And what are the scriptural basis? It is given in the Bhagavad Gita very, very nicely in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Haribhakti Vilasa, and all the other scriptures. And we should remember the major offenses in the deity worship: entering the altar in an unclean state, improperly dressed, offering impure things, being inattentive in worship, disregarding the deity worship rules, considering deity as material, and acting disrespectfully toward the deity. These are not to be done. And if you are worshipping, you should remember, wake up early in the morning, take bath, wear clean clothes, chant minimum 16 rounds, maintain purity of mind. And what are the service as an expression of love? As an expression of love for Krishna and all beings, we should do our duty, that is, serve the Supreme Lord, that is, worship the Supreme Lord. That is what we should do, and we should do it sincerely. That is what is required from us. Go to the next slide. Critique of material identification. Now, Krishna's teachings challenge those who define themselves solely by their physical bodies and material possessions, exposing the ignorance and bondage that result from such identification. You know, you have already studied the Bhagavad Gita. We are not the body, we are the soul. We are part of the Supreme Lord, and this is to be believed. We should believe this very firmly. And the true path to wisdom lies in recognizing the self as distinct from the physical form, aligning oneself with the insights of wise individuals, what is taught by our previous acharyas, what is given in our shastras, especially in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And the role of knowledge and devotion, passage asserts that knowledge in isolation is insufficient for realizing the divine. We have to have devotion. And what type of devotion? Loving devotion. We should develop loving the Supreme Lord. And this will not come automatically. That's why we are doing this as per rules given in the Shastra. And one day we will be successful, it will come to us naturally. And the sages affirm that the true realization of Krishna is only attainable through devotion, that is bhakti, devotional service, or loving devotional service, representing the loving, emotional, and selfless bond between the devotee and the divine. As I said earlier, in the temple, whether at home or in the temple, we should consider that the Supreme Lord in His own self has descended there, and He is sitting there. We should serve Him as the Supreme Lord with any of the relationships. Furthermore, it emphasizes the necessity of sincere service to fellow devotees as a pillar of spiritual progress. And we should not forget about the other people, the other fellow devotees, even those who are not devotees also. We should behave properly with them, reinforcing the hierarchy within bhakti, where loyalty to the divine and its followers takes precedence. Not only the Supreme Lord is important, but his devotees are more important than even the Supreme Lord. What are the key points we learned here in this slide? The matter is inert, temporary, and unconscious. It is composed of the three qualities, sattva, raja, and tamoguna. But the Supreme Lord, he does not have anything which is material in them. And understanding the essence of devotion, we should grasp the essence of devotion, which nature we already know, and it extends beyond the mere act of worship. It is a heartfelt commitment, our journey towards spiritual awakening and a deep connection with the Supreme Lord, the Divine. And devotion is an expression of love and a reverence that permeates even every aspect of life. And to truly understand the devotion, one must recognize it as a path of self discovery and a means of inner growth. It is about nurturing the relationship with the divine. And what are the essentials? Essential are trust, love, and joy of surrendering one's ego. And this essential form is the bedrock of a devoted life, guiding us to various practices. And devotion towards the God is the expression of love. And the core of devotion, God is a profound sense of love and gratitude for the blessings, guidance, protection He is giving us. We cannot live in this world even for a moment without His protection. We are totally protected by Him, given all the facilities to us. And why we are suffering? We are suffering because of our own karma only. That's why we should remember Him, worship Him, take His name, so that all the previous sins they will get dissolved. This we should always remember. Okay, go to the next slide. Maya and ignorance. The discourse on Maya, illusion, vividly illustrates how ignorance obscures the true divine essence of Krishna from ordinary perception. Later on, we will study in the context of Markandeya Rishi more about Maya, more about illusion, how he wanted to see, and how the Supreme Lord showed him this. The analogy of dreaming captures the fleeting nature of material perceptions, highlighting the urgent need for spiritual awakening to unveil the heavenly reality. If we go after the Supreme Lord, then Maya will not go after us, will not be affected by the illusory potency of Maya and the importance of association. The sages acknowledge that their association with Krishna has been a catalyst for their spiritual success. This we have been learning from the very beginning only, this spiritual association with this sages, this sadhu sangha, how important it is in our spiritual life. And this insight underscores the transformative power of being the presence of enlightened individual sadhu sangha within bhakti practices, urging us to seek such a relationship for our own spiritual advancement. That means if we want to advance in our spiritual practice, in this devotional practice, we should not ever forget about sadhu sangha. It should be done physically or even through the various means provided by technology in this material world. And in conclusion, this passage encapsulates the core tenets of Krishna Bhakti as interpreted with Gaudiya Vaishnavism. It underscores the pivotal role of devotion, community, and the recognition of the divine in others, advocating for a spiritual journey that is profoundly relational. Love for Krishna and his devotees leads to the ultimate realization of both self and the divine. Now, please remember that one must seek the association of persons who are Krishna conscious and who engage in devotional service. And without such an association, one cannot advance. This should be very, very clear to all of us. And simply by theoretical knowledge or by study, one cannot make any appreciable advancement. If somebody thinks I'll take a copy of Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita and I'll study myself, that is not enough. One should do that, but that is not enough. That is not everything. One should associate with devotees. One should learn from the senior devotees, and then only one can progress. And one must give up the association of materialistic persons and seek the association of devotees, because without such association, one cannot understand the activities of the Lord. But one can say, in our general dealings, there are enough number of materialistic people of whom we get into contact and we have to deal with them. But we have to deal with them, that is correct. But please deal with them as much as it is necessary, not more than that. Generally, people are convinced of the impersonal nature of the absolute truth because they do not associate with devotees. They cannot understand that absolute truth can be a person and have personal activities. And this is very difficult subject matter. And unless one has personal understanding of the absolute truth, there is no meaning of devotion. Service or devotion cannot be offered to anything impersonal. Service must be offered to a person. That's why when we are dealing with a person, we should judge whether he believes in impersonal or personal aspect of the God. Because non-devotees cannot appreciate Krishna by reading Srimad Bhagavatam or any other Vedic literature within the activities of the Lord, where the activities of the Lord are described. They think that these activities are fictional because spiritual life is not explained to them in the proper mood. To understand the personal activities of the Lord, one has to understand the transcendental activities of the Lord. The path to liberation is open, and then one is freed. And one who has found faith in the Supreme Lord becomes fixed, and his attraction for the association with the Lord and his devotees increases. And association with devotees means association with the Supreme Lord. And the devotee who makes this association develops the consciousness for rendering service to him. And then, one being situated in this way, he gradually becomes perfect. This is the way. And in all scriptures, people are encouraged to act in a pious way so that they can enjoy sense gratification not only in this life but in the next also. For a devotee, sense gratification is not prohibited, but first it should be enjoyed by the Supreme Lord, then you enjoy that. Like, say, prasad. First, let the Lord enjoy the prasad, then you enjoy it. That is perfectly fine. One is, for example, one is promised promotion to the heavenly kingdom of higher planets by pious fruitive activities. But a devotee in the association of other devotees, he prefers to contemplate the activities of the Lord, how he has created this universe, how he is maintaining, how the creation dissolves, and how the spiritual kingdom of the Lord's pastimes are enacted. That's why Prabhupada has rightly said that you should read cantos 1 to 9 first before reading canto 10. And therefore, please study all these literatures, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Samhita, Srimad Bhagavatam in the proper way. And the sincere devotees who associate with devotees gets the opportunity to hear and contemplate all these aspects, all these subjects, and the result that he feels distaste for so-called happiness in this world, that is in the material world, or in the heaven, or in the other higher planets. And the devotees are simply interested in being transferred to the personal association of the Supreme Lord. They no longer attracted to the temporary so-called happiness. What we think of happiness in this material world by sense gratification and other things, that is not happiness. The association of the devotees, the service of the Lord, and serving the Lord, they are most important. That has to be understood. Let us go to the next slide. Okay, there are three questions. What specific practices or rituals do the Brajagopis engage in to maintain their celibacy and devotion during their pilgrimage? The Brajagopis engaged in a series of profound and transformative practices that reflect their unwavering celibacy and deep devotion during their pilgrimage. These practices go beyond mere actions. They employ, embody, and execute manifestation of their emotion and spiritual bond with Krishna. Activities such as intense meditation on Krishna, heartfelt singing of devotional songs that capture their profound love and yearning, performing acts of selfless service, whether cooking or for fellow pilgrims or attending to their needs. All these things they did, the Brajagopis, while in Kurukshetra, and they did not behave the same way as they were behaving with Krishna in Braja. Then question number 2, how can devotees effectively recognize and cultivate the divine qualities in other things, in others as emphasized in Krishna's teaching? To truly recognize and cultivate the divine qualities inherent in others as highlighted in Krishna's teachings, devotees must foster a mindset rich in humility and compassion. These two things we have seen in very, very great detail in very many lessons. Humility and compassion, they are the essence of a devotee. We should try to cultivate them anyhow. And this journey begins with activity, seeking out and celebrating the positive attributes in those around us, nurturing supportive and loving relationship and embracing self-awareness, which beautifully illuminates the divine essence both within ourselves and others. We should appreciate the good things in others always, and we should neglect the shortcomings if they have. And the third question, what are the implications of Krishna's duality as both the Supreme Personality of Godhead and an ordinary being for everyday devotees in their spiritual practices? The implications of Krishna's duality as both the Supreme Personality of Godhead and as an ordinary being are monumental for every devotee on the spiritual paths. This duality allows devotees to engage with Krishna on a deeply personal level suitable to them, recognizing that divine embodies both transcendence and immanence, and such relatability fosters a richer emotional investment in their devotional practices, reinforcing the idea that spiritual experiences are not confined to rarefied moments but are accessible in everyday life. This we should always remember. And then we go to the next slide, the devotion and relationship with Krishna. Vasudeva's perception of Krishna as his son, rather than merely the supreme God, reveals the intricate tapestry of divine relationship. He considered him as his son also, and also the supreme personality of Godhead. And his humility and deep concern for spiritual growth reflect an unparalleled parental love that can often obscure the recognition of divine majesty. If you remember when Vasudeva and Devaki they were released from Kamsa's prison after Kamsa was killed, they stood with folded hands in front of Krishna and Balarama. This is their humility. They knew that he was their son, but they also knew that he is the supreme personality of Godhead. And this illustrates the concept of prema, pure love, in Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, where personal connections with the divine are not only meaningful, but they are pivotal. That means what is most important here? The personal relationship. We should not consider him as the Supreme Lord also, but we should have a relationship with him. Though we have got a personal particular relationship which we do not know, but still then whatever knowledge we have got till now, we should accept him in one of these relationships. This is very, very important. And the role of the sages, especially Narada, are vital in Vasudeva's spiritual evolution. They act as enlightened guides, imparting invaluable wisdom and emphasizing the necessity of acknowledging Krishna's divine essence. Their teachings on the importance of Vedic knowledge act as beacon, illuminating the path to liberation and elevating the understanding of both Vasudeva and their audience regarding the profound nature of existence. Now, please remember that the ecstatic love develops into relationship of parenthood and becomes steadily established, then this is known as Vatsalya Rasa. Now the exhibition of this Vatsalya Rasa in the standard devotional service can be found in dealings of Krishna with the devotees who respect, who represent themselves as superior personalities like father, mother, etc. And the learned scholars have described parental love for Krishna existing in the elderly personalities also. And the list of all these personalities, Mother Yasoda, Nanda Maharaj, Rohini Mata, and the elderly gopis of Vrindavana, then the wives of Vasudeva. Vasudeva had 15 wives, then Kunti Maharani, then Vasudeva, the father of Krishna, Sandipani Muni, all these personalities, you should learn from them. Then the next slide, karma and sacrifice. The sages underscore that authentic worship of Lord Vishnu through ritual worship is crucial for overcoming the cycle of karma. We are affected by the cycle of karma. Therefore, we should worship the Supreme Lord as per the scriptures. And this truth resonates with the Vedic philosophy that purposeful actions performed with the right intention and genuine understanding lead to spiritual purification and eventual liberation. will be totally purified, spiritually purified, and ultimately will be liberated. Liberated for what purpose? For serving the Supreme Lord in various capacities as per his wish. And the sage's practical approach highlights that starting with material inclinations is a valid entry point into spiritual realm. With whatever shortcomings we have, with whatever material desires we have, with whatever material inclinations we have, still then we should follow the spiritual path and will be benefited at the end. This is what it's saying. And detachment and realization. The text emphasizes that vital need to renounce material desires, attachment to wealth, family, worldly pressures, as a pathway to spiritual liberation. We should leave all these means. We should not give much importance to these things. The sages counsel Vasudeva to engage in acts of charity and sacrifice. These are very, very important. Please remember charity and sacrifice. We studied in lesson 122 also, guiding him towards the realization of the ephemeral nature of material life. This material life, this is ephemeral, means this is not permanent, this is transitory in nature. This aligns seamlessly with Gaudiya Vaishnava belief that true contentment stems from devotion, not from accumulation of material possessions. If somebody thinks if he gets a lot of money, then he will be contented. This is not true. If one is spiritually evolved, then he will be totally contented. And transcendence of spiritual authority, the sages recognize Vasudeva's extraordinary position as Krishna's father, suggesting that he transcends the conventional scriptural mandates. And once one has gone to that level, then the scriptural injunctions, they are not applicable to him. And this acknowledgement of his unique role highlights the transformative potential of deep devotion, which can sometimes surface ritualistic boundaries, inspiring us with sense of hope and possibility in our own spiritual journey. This is very, very important for us to remember. Okay, we will not have the break. We'll go forward because time is little less. Symbolism of worship. Vasudeva's worship richly adorned with offerings and rituals epitomizes the ideal practice of devotion. The very act of prayer serves as a pathway to deepening one's relationship with Krishna, reinforcing the idea that devotion must be imbued with love and sincerity. Now, what was happening here? Vasudeva, son of Lord Krishna, he worshipped the Supreme Lord with not only the rituals, but with all the offerings what one should do. And this one should not consider as normal ritual worship, but this was with devotion. This is the devotional service of the Supreme Lord. And we should remember that Vasudeva and Devaki, or for that matter, Nanda and Yasoda, they are not ordinary individuals. They are the perpetual, permanent fathers and mothers of the Supreme Lord. They are in a much higher condition. Why all these leelas are given? These are given for all of us to learn from them. And community teaching, this point we have seen earlier in many classes. Community and teaching, community is very important. The sages asked Vasudeva to perform rituals not solely for his own benefit, but as a model for others to follow, so that others also follow the same thing. And this illustrates the communal essence of Gaudiya Vaishnava practice, where individual actions become compelling lessons for the larger community, fostering the spread of devotion and deepening our connections with the spiritual collective. That means we should not only conduct or follow this devotional service at home, we should spread it to others so that others also get benefited. And the conclusion is, this passage profoundly underscores the imperative of recognizing Krishna as Supreme Being, embracing devotional practices, and liberating ourselves from material attachments through sacrifice and renunciation. Please remember these two words, sacrifice and renunciation. They are very important. And such recognition enlightens us to enrich our spiritual awareness and guides us forward toward a deeper understanding of the divine and our spiritual odyssey. And thus requested when Vasudeva was about to be initiated for the sacrifice, the Brahmanes, they came to initiating pavilion after bathing and putting all fine clothes, garland, lotuses, they worshipped, and then the mridangas, the conch shells, were sounded, and Vasudeva was very happy, and he received the initiation along with his wives, and Vasudeva's priest and the officiating members of the assembly. They also took part in the worship. They were also dressed in silk dhotis and jeweled ornaments. Then at the appropriate time and according to scripture, Vasudeva, he remunerated all the priests and all these things took place. And there, not only Vasudeva and Devaki, but all others who were associated, they were taught about these things and they got benefited. Okay. Community teaching, the sages urge Vasudeva perform rituals not solely for benefit, a model for others. I think this we have already gone through. Okay. Now the three questions, instructive questions. What specific rituals or practices are performed, recommended for effectively engaging in Vedic sacrifices to worship Lord Krishna? To engage meaningfully in Vedic sacrifices honoring Lord Krishna, one should embrace a rich tapestry of rituals that are central to Vedic traditions, what are given in the Vedic literature. And these often involve what all? Yajnas, where offering of grains, ghee, and other sacred items play a pivotal role. Essential to those practices are the chanting of the potent mantras, a devotion infused performance of rituals, and cultivation of a pure mindset. And the nuances of these rituals may differ based on the regional traditions and the invaluable guidance of learned sages of priests, ensuring deeply personal experience and devotion. These rituals are very important. This we have to remember. And how does one cultivate a deeper relationship with Krishna while balancing the material responsibilities and attachments? Like we have so many material responsibilities, and still then we are told to practice, follow the devotional path. This can be done by cultivating a profound relationship with Krishna. Relationship is very, very important. While managing life's material obligations is not just possible, it is an inspiring journey, and this involves seamlessly weaving devotional practices into fabric of daily life. Regular prayer, meditation on Krishna's divine qualities, engaging with sacred text, and committing to community service can all enhance these responsibilities. This we should remember. And how does one cultivate a deeper relationship with Krishna while balancing material responsibilities and attachment? The teachings of Narada and other revered sages plays an indispensable role in shaping the personal spiritual journeys of individuals. Their wisdom emphasizes the essence of selfless devotion and the vital pursuit of spiritual knowledge. And these teachings transcend individual context, inviting practitioners to deepen their divine connection. Then we go to the next slide. The bonds of affection, prema, the profound love shared between Vasudeva and Nanda powerfully illustrates the concept of prema or divine love. Vasudeva's acknowledgement of the challenges in severing such bonds signifies that genuine devotion transcends mere material connections, flourishing instead in heartfelt relationship. We know that Vasudeva and Nanda, they are great friends. In Bhagavatam, we have seen when Nanda Maharaj had gone to pay the taxes of to Kansa. He had met Vasudeva, and how in the garden they had discussed various things, and he had warned him that calamities may fall in Braja and all those things. And here also in Kurukshetra, we saw how much love is there between Vasudeva and Nanda, how they learned from each other, and devotion and material wealth. Nanda's striking declaration that he would sacrifice millions of lives for a drop of Krishna's perspiration highlights a crucial truth. Spiritual wealth eclipses material possessions. So this is very, very important in life. Spiritual achievement or spiritual wealth, if we get the blessings of the Supreme Lord, that is much more than any possession which we have or we are going to gather. And this emphasis on the bhakti principle reinforces the idea that true fulfillment arises from a divine connection and not from worldly riches. These worldly riches, they are temporary in nature. They are not going to stay for long. That's why we should not go after them. Then next, separation and longing, vipralamba. This vipralamba bhava also we have seen in the gopis, how they nurture it and how they are benefited out of this. The theme of separation resonates deeply as Nanda and the Brajavasis ensure immense sorrow due to Krishna's absence. After 11 years, Krishna left Braja and came to Mathura, and thereafter he went to Dwaraka. And this was felt very deeply by the Brajavasis, and this longing to become central in bhakti, where feelings of separation intensify the devotion and desire for reunion with the divine enriches the spiritual experience. Now, this Vipralamba, why the Lord wants to torment the devotee, why he wants to displease the devotee, this is to nurture bhakti. One will get much more happiness in Vipralamba. That's why at the end, what the gopis said, we do not want Krishna to come back. We are very happy with it. Whatever they had, that Vipralamba bhava, they were enjoying that. That is much more than some bhoga. And omniscience and divine plan, Krishna's foresight signifies the divine orchestration of life itself. They suggest that all experiences, joyful or painful, serve as a larger purpose within the divine plan for the spiritual growth of devotees. Whatever may come to us, whether it is sorrow, whether it is happiness, or whether it is anything else, it should be taken as a blessing of the Supreme Lord. It is happening because of the Supreme Lord. We should try to remain happy with whatever the situation comes. And Krishna's assurances to Nanda that future encounters not only comfort the heart but also bolster the faith of devotees, highlighting the importance of trust in divine will. That's why we should have great trust in the divine will. We should have trust that Krishna will do good to us. Whatever he does good to us. We should bear that, we should appreciate that, and think good things will happen to us. And unyielding devotion, Ananya Bhakti, the unwavering devotion of Nanda and the Brajavasis. What does this mean, Ananya Bhakti? Means you should have devotional service only to the Supreme Lord, and for that you should not do anything else. And trust totally on the Supreme Lord. That's all. Illustrated through their refusal to find satisfaction in material gifts, epitomizes Ananya Bhakti. This exclusive devotion is characterized by a singular focus on Krishna, rendering all else insignificant in comparison. It represents a mental state where all thoughts, actions, and emotions are devoted to the divine, free from distractions and alternative desires. Then community of devotees, the shared experience of the Brajavasis, both their joys and sorrows, underscore the communal aspect of bhakti. All of them, all the Brajavasis as a community, they were very, very happy with whatever they had. Their interconnected relationship with each other illustrates that devotion is not merely an individual pursuit, but a collective journey towards the divine, fostering a profound sense of belonging and unity among participants. This was what was special to the Brajavasis, and they cannot be compared with anybody else, not even to the Dwarkavasis. And dialogue is a means of understanding. The exchanges between Krishna and Vasudeva and Nanda illustrates the pivotal role of communication in resolving conflicts and misunderstandings. Krishna's gentle persuasion reflects the compassionate nature of divine intervention, reinforcing the idea that true wisdom is rooted in the love and dialogue, providing comfort and reassurance to the audience. That's why if we have got any misunderstanding with anybody, we should talk and we should resolve that. The rationale for highlighting these thematic elements lies in their embodiment of the core principle of bhakti. And these principles emphasize deep personal relationship with the divine, the transformative potency of love, and the vital role of community in spiritual practice. And they encapsulate the essence of Gaudiya Vaishnava thought, placing devotion as the supreme path to spiritual advancement, fulfillment. And this perspective sharply contrasts with the imperative, impersonal outlook of Advaita Vedanta, which prioritizes the unity of the individual soul with the universal soul, often neglecting vital importance of personal relationship with the divine. The Advaita people, they do not have established a relationship with the Supreme Lord. And the three questions: what specific practices and or rituals within Bhakti tradition foster the bonds of affection? Practices and rituals that cultivate the bonds of affection in the Bhakti tradition include regular chanting of the mantras, engaging in devotional singing, participating in community worship, and offering selfless service. Question number two: how do the concept of separation and longing in bhakti translate into the daily lives of the devotees? Now, the themes of separation and longing manifest deeply in the daily lives of devotees, fostering a heightened consciousness of their connection to the divine. They will recognize that they are connected to the divine. That's why they are feeling that they are separated. Their sincere yearning for spiritual closeness, commonly expressed through prayer, meditation, and reflective practices that enrich their emotional connection with their chosen deity. and such experiences allow devotees to embrace both beauty and the act of separation, thereby deepening growth. And question number 3, in what ways can modern practitioners of bhakti apply the teachings of unwavering devotion and community emphasized by the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya? Now, modern practitioners can bring the teachings of unwavering devotion and community to life by actively engaging in collective worship and service, offering support to one another on the spiritual journey, and cultivating a nurturing environment that reinforces the sense of belonging and shared commitment to the divine. All these things are very, very important, and that's why we as devotees, as a community of devotees, we should try to cultivate these all these things within us and establish relationship with others. And with this, I come to end of today's class. Now the session is open for question and answers. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, बहुत धन्यवाद प्रणाम प्रभु. Thank you so much for a wonderful class. Prabhu, you said that if the one question, you said that if any communication gap is there between the devotees, we have to talk and resolve it. So sometimes, okay, if some devotees are in years wise or start up their devotees bit less, something like that. So then we can convey that message. Sometimes we find that some senior leaders or something like that, they might be doing something, so we might find some fault or something like that with that. How to convey this type of situations, how to handle this type of situation if the devotees are very senior, if we start going arguing with them and all, it becomes a conflict. In that situation, how to handle this one, Prabhu? Hare Krishna.
Okay, we should, the basic line is, we should not land into conflict with anybody. That is the very first thing. Because if a conflict is created, then not only the other party, but we also will get affected. And if you are saying it is not possible to have a dialogue with them, then keep quiet. Don't try to convince them. And in due course of time, if you are following the right path, you are doing the right thing, the thing itself will be conveyed to the other person in due course of time. And if it is very, very serious, then you can approach somebody else to mediate between the two. But in under no circumstances one should create a confusion or dissension or a situation where something unpleasant takes place. This is very, very important. And I'll request Charu Prabhuji to elaborate on this.
I think Prabhuji already made major points. Sometimes it is better to involve a senior person, because if you try to do yourself, sometimes we might be committing aparadhas, offenses. So it's better talk to a senior person who could meditate, who could be in the kind of the same kind of category, same stages to that person that you think that some problem, that is what Prabhuji is trying to tell you, and I fully agree with that. Yeah. And
thank you so much.
Try avoiding in a confrontational situation, because you don't win that way.
Yes, Prabhu. I mean, basically, when the few things we are dealing, the difference of opinions might be there among the devotees. But if sometimes if we raise our opinion, the opposite person might be thinking that in a conflict way. This is what we have to be
Yeah,
bit of a sensitive to the situation looks like.
exactly.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
need
Prabhu.
to be very
Yeah, okay,
sensitive
Prabhu.
about that.
And I mean,
Because
takeaway point is that if the person is senior, then we better to keep quiet. Otherwise, if the that matter is serious, we can go through some senior devotees or something like that
exactly.
mediator
Yeah.
without any.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
And
Prabhu.
sometimes,
Thank you so much.
discussing with a senior person, uh, he or she can explain to you. Sometimes it could be our misunderstanding also, and
Correct.
see, we cannot see it ourselves because we see it from our own vision, and sometimes it is not may not be right. So just to make sure,
Correct.
particularly when a person is involved in a very senior category, and if you're trying to criticize that, it sometimes can backfire.
Correct. Sure, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Any other question or comment on whatever we have learned today? And these two lessons, 122 and 123, they pertain to chapter 84. Next two lectures, we will see chapter 85.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. That was Pranam, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Am I
Hare
audible,
Krishna.
Prabhu? Yes.
Yes,
So,
I can hear you.
thank you, Prabhu. So, what touched me in this whole pastime you shared, of course, lot of instructive point, but what touched me always is the way, the point mentioned earlier also by Samta Mataji in the recap, and today, like we see how Vasudev has so much loving and emotional feeling, right? And they are like, sorry, Prabhu, they're like step brothers, but still they have so much affection. And then Mataji also mentioned that we have to be very thoughtful, gratitude, and appreciative of all the relations we have, right? Because they are given to us by the Lord based on our past karma. So they may not be like, in alignment with what we think. There is always this conflict, but yet, they are there, and mostly they do support. And there is a different kind of rasa when we get together as a, as a relatives on some occasion, and then we should have those greetings. So we should be appreciative and do our best to uplift everyone in Krishna consciousness. So that was wonderful, Prabhu. So thank you. And very wonderful recap by Santa Mataji also. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Any other question or comment?
Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
just Prabhuji now said about the conflicts. It is mostly seen there can be the differences in the opinion about when we are offering the sevas, and as there are egos, and mostly the problem comes with equals. And just now Prabhuji said, one should deal with the senior, so such problems with. Yeah, it was a very nice takeaway point. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, we should learn not only from the seniors, but from anybody and everybody. We should be a student only. If we remember that, then there will be no conflict.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Oh, that's a wonderful point, Prabhu. Always remain a student and learn. Junior.
If you see, there are things to be learned from anybody and everybody. It is because of our ego we are not able to learn. Otherwise, like in Bhagavatam, you learn how one had 24 gurus, what he learned from them. All the things we will be learning later on in the 11th chapter.
Practically, I see I make my prior points and everything, but actually I learned a lot from all of you also in this discussion period. recapping everything. So much we can learn from everybody actually, certain kind of angle of vision that is only possible when you look it from somebody else's vision.
Yes. Okay, any other point or question or comment?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, such a wonderful class. Prabhuji, you said about celibacy and chastity. Celibacy in men and chastity in women. When you talk of these two things in Kali Yuga, it is one tries, but there are many downfalls. And it is also said that whatever deed is done mentally is not counted. That is also the plus point of Kali Yuga. So what I wanted to ask is, if chastity is maintained physically, but sometimes if it is not happening mentally, will that also hamper the spiritual path? Or how?
Yes, as per teaching, yes, but as you said rightly, in this Kali Yuga, the Lord has given us a sanction that if you do not commit it on ground, that is, the thing does not come out from the mouth, or you have not acted that way, then it is not a sin, because as you see in this Kali Yuga, the things are so different. And in 12th canto, when we study the symptoms of Kali, that will also surprise many of you what is happening and what is going to happen when the Kali Yuga advances. We have only advanced only about 5,000 years. Another 4,27,000 years are left in this Kali Yuga. What will happen at the end? You cannot imagine. It is given in the Bhagavatam. So that's why this concession is given. Still then, we should not try to commit anything in our mind also. And basically, why we try to commit any aparadha or anything in the mind? That is because we try to see faults in others. When you see faults, then you keep on thinking about that. First, it comes out in the Vachik form, that is, you speak about them, then it comes in action. That's why the very important thing is that we should not try to find faults in others. That is very, very important. It is very difficult also, but this is the essence of everything. All our problems start from this. We try to find faults and good things in others. Good things up to a level it is all right, but at least faults we should not try to see, or if we see, we ignore them. Let the Lord look after that. Why should I be the media? So that way.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you. Any other point or question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
For the celibacy, okay, that brahmacharya improving, the sadhana is the only way, right, Prabhu? Sadhana and Shastra and blessings of Guru. Any kind of hints you can give, Prabhu? Any other things?
Yes, we should do our natural duty, what is prescribed in the Shastra, what is ordained by our Guru. We should do it selflessly, we should do it sincerely, that's all.
That's all.
That
So celibacy automatically will improve. Is that you are saying, Prabhu?
No. Whatever is described, we should do, and for that, nothing else to be done. That's all. Basically, about celibacy for men or women, what is being told in our ISKCON, you stay in the relationship of your marriage. That's all.
Prabhuji, then
Even for
how
that as
is
well, Prabhuji. Even for that also, in many purports, Prabhupada wrote saying that okay, that is only to beget the Krishna conscious children, and he should not go beyond, Prabhu.
Yes, yes. He tells many difficult things which, if able, practice. But follow what is given in the Shastra, what is given by our Acharyas. That is very, very correct.
Prabhuji,
Okay.
but following as per the Shastras, like then how is Ahilya and Tara and Mandodari, how they are chaste? Because Ahilya was also kind of contaminated by Indra, and Tara and Mandodari, they did not perform any sati after their husband's death. So how are they considered then chaste?
Okay. Okay, there is a very good question which many of you won't be knowing actually the actual thing. The time is there, I'll try to elucidate. What do you feel when Indra came in the in guise of Gautam Muni to Ahalya? Did Ahalya know it?
Ahalya know it, Prabhu.
Hmm?
Ahalya know it.
Ahalya knew it.
Yeah,
Okay.
she knew it that it is not her husband, and it is Indra.
No, she came to know about it at the end or from the beginning?
Beginning only, in my opinion, Prabhu.
Okay. Anybody else? I'll tell you the correct thing, what is given in the Shastra.
But whatever I read, Prabhu, it could be wrong. Sorry.
Okay, okay, okay,
It
okay.
was not in the beginning, it was later she came to know.
Okay. Okay, I'll tell you all the things will get clear. All what is given in the Valmiki Ramayana. Now, before that, let me take 1 or 2 minutes about the how Ahalya came into being. Who was his father and mother, you know? Anybody knows? Okay, you won't be knowing. I'll tell you. Ahalya had no mother. She was created by none other than Lord Brahma. And she was the most beautiful woman in this complete universe. That's why even Indra wanted to marry her. Now that's why what Brahma said, I will get her married to somebody who has got his senses under control. And as we know, Indra, he doesn't have any sense control. That's what he did. He sent Ahalya to Gautama and told Gautama to keep her in his hermitage, and he did not got her married to Gautama, just kept her there, and he said, when time comes, I'll tell you. Then after many, many years, he found that Gautama Rishi, he was not affected by his senses, and he was doing his duty. That's why he gave her in marriage to Gautama Rishi. Now, regarding this story, what is given in the Ramayana, I'll tell you in detail. What happened when Indra came? What some of the verses I'll give you in very, very brief. The balance of the things you can study in the Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana, and things are very clear. He said, that is, Indra said, Sangamam tvaha ichhami. I want to unite with you. Tvaya saha sumadhyame. Please accept me, O most beautiful. Now then, when he came, what is described in the Ramayana, he is saying, Muni Vesam Sahasrakhyam Vigyaya Raghunandana. That means he came in the guise of Gautama Muni, and that was recognized by Ahalya. What Prasad Prabhu said is very, very correct. But what happened to Ahalya? Matim Chakara Durmedha. That means the intelligence of Ahalya got polluted. Why it got polluted? Because she thought even the Devraj Indra he finds me that I am the most beautiful woman in this whole universe. That's why she accepted her. That means she knew exactly that Indra had come. Then thereafter, what happened? Then, as you know, at the end, when all other things I am not telling, I will tell you the gist only. At the end, when Gautam Muni came, he recognized, he saw somebody in his form, then he recognized immediately and cursed him and all that. Then Gautam Rishi also cursed Ahalya to become a stone. Now all these things are given. Then you will ask what Mataji is asking. With all these things, how can she be a chaste woman? Ahalya, Draupadi, Tara, Kunti, Mandodari, Tatha. I'll tell you about each person in very, very brief. The balance of the things you can read in the Shastra. Now what happened when Lord Rama and Lakshmana, they were being brought uh, to Mithila by Vishwamitra. They reached that place, and Vishwamitra Muni told Lord Rama to touch that stone with his feet. And then what happened? Then, just by entering that cottage, where Ahalya was there, because she had been cursed that she will not be able to drink anything, see and eat anything. She will be able to hear others conversing, and she will be able to see others, but she will not be able to see anybody else. Now, the moment Lord Rama entered the cottage, she got her form of Ahalya. Now, there is a difference in version in Valmiki Ramayana and Ramcharitmanas. Ramcharitmanas said when Lord Rama touched the Shila, that is the stone, then she got transformed to Ahalya. But it is little different in Valmiki Ramayana. It says that just by seeing Lord Rama, when Rama entered, everything got resolved. Then what happened? Then what happened? The Lord Rama, he became very morose. Then when Vishwamitra asked him, he gave the reason. He said, you see, I have touched with my foot a lady who is a Brahmana and who is a Rishipatni, and this is my offense. So that's why he offered prostrated obeisances to Ahalya. Ahalya did not give respect to him, but he offered obeisances to her. And by this, all her sins got destroyed. And suddenly, Gautama Rishi also reached there. And since she was sinless by now, Gautama Muni, he accepted her and he walked away with her as if nothing had happened in the past. So this is what is the story about Ahalya. Then Draupadi. Now one may say, why Draupadi had 5 husbands? How can she be chaste? Now why she is chaste? Because in that yuga, in Dwapar Yuga, for Kshatriyas, it was allowed, she was allowed to marry. And that the other story also you know. Then Tara. Tara and Mandodari, I'll tell together. Kunti. Kunti, she begot 5 sons, rather 3 sons from the 3 demigods. But that was with the permission of her husband. That's why it is not a sin. And what about Kunti and Tara and Mandodari? Now, Tara was wife of Vali. And once Vali was killed, Tara did not commit sati. And what actually had happened, Sugriva, he told Tara that you were sitting on this throne earlier, and I do not want to deprive you. You keep on sitting in the throne. Please, I am offering my obeisances to you. Please bless me so that I can be the king and serve the people of this kingdom. And that's how she served. She stayed there that way. And she considered that earlier my husband was a non-devotee. And now I am marrying not marrying, I'll be with a devotee. That's why she did not marry him. She did not have any relationship with him, but stayed with him because of that reason. And for Mandodari, it was the same case. Now, you see, after Ravana was killed, Mandodari, she also did not commit sati, but she stayed there to stay with a devotee of the Supreme Lord. And as you know, Vibhishana, where his wife and son, they also had gone to Ayodhya, but they did not come back. They did not come back to Lanka. They stayed there. The son of he became the chief of the police personnel there in Ayodhya. And his wife, she started serving the supreme goddess, that is Janaki ji. And that's how it happened. That means they never got married and they served the devotees. That's why they are considered as most chaste. This is how, if you take the names of these 5 persons in the morning, then all your sins will be destroyed. This is what is given in the Shastra. I hope I have answered your
Okay.
question, Mataji.
One second, Prabhu. Mandodara is traveled to Ayodhya. Is that you said?
Hey, Mandodari?
You traveled to Ayodhya. Is that you said, Prabhu?
No, Mandodari did not travel to
Okay,
Ayodhya.
Vibhushan and his wife traveled to Ayodhya.
Yes.
So they
Mandodari was
stayed
in
in.
Lanka only. And
Okay,
please,
Mandodara stayed in Lanka only. Okay.
yes, sir, Lanka, please also remember that the Lanka, what we are talking of, the Rama Ravana war of Lanka, as you know, that bridge which was established, that was how much? It was 1200 kilometers long and 120 kilometers wide. But our present day Lanka, that is about 26 kilometers. That means this Lanka we are saying Sri Lanka, it is not the one where Ravana was there. This is the wrong thing. It is something else. And that is so transcendental that we cannot see that Lanka where even Vibhishana is the king today. And as you know, every day he comes to worship Lord Ranganath. That is a different story.
Okay.
Okay, we are
So,
coming to
5
the...
names, Prabhu. Oh, what is that we have to remember? Can you repeat those 5 names, Prabhu?
Hey, what?
5 names you said we have to remember every day morning.
5 names. Ahalya, Draupadi, Tara, Kunti, Mandodari.
Okay.
These 5.
Ahalya, Tara, Kunti,
Ahalya, Draupadi, Tara, Kunti, Mandodari.
Mandodara, Kunti. Okay, Prabhu.
अहल्या द्रौपदी कुंती तारा मंदोदरी तथा पंचकन्या स्मरण नित्यम महापातकनाशनम. Okay, any other question or comment?
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the detailed explanation.
Very nicely done, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. So if we don't have any other question or comments, then we'll finish the today's class with the Nrsinga prayers.
Okay, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Would anyone like to do the Narsim prayers? Okay, I'll do, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam to you. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladadayine. Praladadayine. Hiranyakashipo Vakshara. हिरण्यकशिपूर्वक्षः शीलटङ्कानखालाय शीलटङ्कानखालाय तो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा तो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा पाहि नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा पाहि नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे तव करकमलवरे नखा अद्भुतशृङ्गं दलित हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गं केशवधृत नरहरिरूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव करकमलवरे नखा अद्भुतशृङ्गं दलित हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गं केशवधृता नरहरिरूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी थैंक यू सो मच धन्यवाद प्रणाम
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. Thank you, all the devotees. Then we will meet tomorrow for the lesson 124 of chapter 85. All glories to the assembled devotees. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Very nice recap.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Samta
Thank you,
Mataji.
Prabhuji.
Good night. Thank you.
धन्यवाद प्रणाम to all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you. Sleep well.
Okay, bro. We'll see you tomorrow. Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabhuji. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Chari Prabhuji.